Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. We're going to try to keep this rolling, this series, the personal finance series I got going right now. I I came across this video. I believe it is a Peter McCormack video, a Peter McCormack video, right? McCormack. I don't know. I'll just say McCormack. You know what I mean? And I liked where it was going. What this, I don't know who this lady is basically, but her name is Jasmine Birtles. And yeah, she was just mentioning certain stuff in the intro, which made me realize that I guess, it fits along the lines of what I kind of want to be covering. So let's see what she's got to say here and try to dissect this video.
In this country, there's a cultural thing about money where it's acceptable to say, oh, I'm hopeless at money. It's acceptable to say, I'm hopeless at numbers. And that's a cultural thing. In Asia, it's quite the opposite. It's very good to be good at numbers.
I just realized the last time the audio was kind of nuts. I don't know which one. Can't mute my audio. So am I muting this one here? Mute screen audio. Is that what I'm doing? Let's see. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Taught me.
Because I think I was getting an echo in my last video.
Not just how to not get into debt, but how to make money, how to earn money, how to, basic investing. If I'd understood that.
Hope you can hear me. Anyway, just to my mic, I want to make sure my mic is clear.
Compound interest can make you serious money. I would have taken a lot more notice in maths classes. I really would.
It was a cool place. Right. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
There's a lot to talk about.
There really is, yes.
How big is the squeeze on people right now? Because you are one of those people that providing advice and guidance, and it's useful, but it's a shame they haven't to get this advice and guidance right now.
Yeah, it's funny because that was a question that I asked a debt advisor that I know last month. So in April, when we had the April bills, I phoned up debt advisor that I know from Community Money Advice. I'm patron of Community Money Advice, which is a free debt advice charity, And I said, I bet it's going to be really hard for your clients. And he said, well, yes. On the one hand, I have got clients who are really struggling, and this is going to make it a lot worse. But he said, we've got a 2-tier benefits system. And I was quite surprised to hear him say that, because I thought he was going to go on about, how difficult it is. And he said, I've got people who are mostly sort of working people who are really struggling. Then on the other hand, I've got those that are doing actually very nicely out of the system. He mentioned one lady who's got 6 kids. She's on £66,000 on benefits, and that's tax-free. And he was mentioning the PIP system. Now, I know people who are really struggling to get a car, and they really need it. Whereas he said he's had one lady who came in who's got a car because she said she feels anxious when she gets on the bus. Somebody else got a car because she's got acne and didn't want to go onto public transport with acne.
Hold on a second. Is this the thing you were telling me about?
Yeah. It's annoying, man. It makes me think, well, if they're doing it with what is our tax money anyway, why should...
I've been, bro, this is already starting to piss me off. Like, a friend of mine mentioned to me that he said basically he was mentioning how those with kids, right? Those with kids, which I didn't know at the time, but those with kids, I don't think it was. I mean, he mentioned that obviously those with kids basically get benefits and so forth. But I think the main thing was not even with them, but he said that how people that are on benefits, a lot of them will just claim that they have some sort of issue with, like, I don't know, right? Some sort of disability to it, like, if you will. And if as long as they can have that approved, I guess, by like their GP, whatever, they get free. They get to apply for universal credit, and that universal credit claim would also cover their rent costs. So there's people that will just, again, there are some people that genuinely have disabilities, right, that need these benefits. But there is a plethora of people, and I mean, when I say that word, I don't mean how people use it, how usually people use that word. There is a plethora of people that are claiming benefits that is coming off the back of tax people. Coming off the back of people that are paying tax, working class people, honest people. So it's not just that phrase that you hear, nice guys finish last. It's not just the nice guys finish last, guys. It's the working class people. It's the honest working class people, honest, workers in the society that basically finish last. Because we're the ones that, I guess, some may call it ego. So some may say, well, these people are just finding a way to capitalize within a capitalist society. So that's why they're doing what they're doing. You can't really complain. When people say the UK is finished, this is what they're talking about. Like, you hear these things, and so it led me to start to think. That's why I mentioned that whole those that have kids, basically, right, that claim benefit and so forth. It led me to start to realize that there are people that are having kids simply for this reason, so they can get a place a place for free. And then, so depending on, I've not looked into this and researched it thoroughly, but depending on how many kids, I guess, you have, then those benefits could increase if you reapply for whatever. I've not done that. I don't know people that have done that. I'm sure people around me are doing it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, yeah, my people are very honest. I don't know. Me more, I don't know for you. But this is stuff that is people are taking advantage of, right? So not only are, let's just say, for example, you do have, kids, and a man or woman, you've got a kid, whatever, and you essentially maybe meet somebody that you let this person know, or not, even if you don't let them know, both of you are now staying within both of you are in a house, or both of you are residents within a place. Could be I don't know, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, whatever they've given you, right? Both of you are staying there. If they let the person know, then that person will essentially just be like, oh, wow, okay, this person's giving me a free place to stay. I mean, it's not necessarily theirs. So as a result, they're going to want to take advantage. They'll be like, oh, snap. So they're going to want to claim and be like, well, I can, this is not something you're working for anyway. You got it for free, whatever the case may be, if they're debating on something, and they just kind of want to stay there because they know. So it's actually best for the person that has the place not to say that I'm claiming it. I'm using UC or JSA, whatever, to basically pay for this. Because people are going to become entitled. People are going to just be like, you don't work for this, so yeah, I don't have a place to stay. I want to stay here. And they literally become lodgers, literally lodging in a place where a person is staying because they feel entitled. So when you hear these things, it's not good to hear these things. It really isn't good to hear these things. Oh man, this country is shocking.
I've got
Exactly.
ADHD.
Yeah.
I don't need to get a car, but if the government's going to pay for one anyway, I should do it.
Well, that's the thing. It's the system. Now, the lady who said she was anxious, it was a DWP person who'd been dealing with her.
Do it anyway. If the government are going to do it for me, why not? And the thing about it is, here's the thing about the government. That I guess many may know, or maybe they don't know. Who knows? But they're very aware that those that they're giving these benefits to, right? Oh, here's a car, whatever. All the money's going to go back to who it needs to go back to. This is what a lot of people don't realize. I don't believe those that are on benefits are going to just, because I mean, if I was on, someone like me, you don't want me to be on benefits, right? Like, personal finance is very important, right? But then you got to realize, me even going through this process, I'm starting to realize that personal finance is very important, and integrity as well, because you're going to want to try to stay honest. you can completely grape the system, have the system by the balls, because the opportunity for people to really just misbehave is wild, and it's all off the backs of it's me and you that are there. Like, oh no, I'm not gonna. I hear some people that'll be telling me, oh, I don't want to go on benefits, whatever. I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Like, if you don't have a job right now, you need it. Go on benefits, man. You know, there's a time where I had to, this was in 2020 when I got what was it when they essentially laid me off? But no, it wasn't, because whatever they call that thing, right? In 2020, everyone got furloughed, right? And it then led to me just kind of leaving. So in that instance where I actually got even before I kind of realized what was gonna happen in terms of, okay, I'm gonna have to just leave. I got given another offer, right? So I essentially got another job. So I'm literally walking out of one, walking straight into another. Then that's when 2020 really kicked in. I don't even want to say the word, but when I say 2020 really kicked in, where they were like, things stopped. So they contacted me saying that, unfortunately, because of what's happened, because I was just about to start, and they're like, we're not going to just allow this person to be working from home. We don't know your character, yet. So, you might just not be serious. So we're going to have to, even though they said delay, it was pretty much a withdrawal of the offer until further notice, by then things just died down after, I don't know, a month or two, because it was longer than a month or two that people had to stay indoors for. So in that time frame, that's the first time yes, it was the first time, was it? No, it was. I'm thinking, oh no, I'm thinking, because I remember me going there before and not actually getting services. But the second time, which was very, very recent, which was 2021, was when I've gone there before. I went there again, and I got this one this time around, because it was a long stint. As before, it was one of them short stints. I didn't even get to get it. I didn't even get to receive it. So because I had basically got a job. But yeah, when you think about these things, start realizing to yourself that, well, why wouldn't people take advantage? But some people would take terrible advantage, and this is what happens. And now the honest workers are asking, what's going on? Like, how was this? I went through the route I was told to go through. Work hard, don't do this, pay tax, and it's literally it's backfiring on I guess, well, the ones that are still doing this and not sort out their personal finance. This is why it's so important to fix yourself, focus your personal finance, because had you focused on it, things wouldn't be as bad for you right now. It's just radical.
Casey said,
madness.
do you feel anxious when you're on the bus? Because if you do, you'll get a car. And she went, oh, I feel anxious then. So that's what it's the system. And as
I
you
feel
say,
anxious on the bus.
Yes, I know who does.
Peter, I don't know if you know, I not only do I'm breathing, I'm panting, I'm also sweating on the bus. Sweating because there's no aircon. Can you give me a car?
Particularly when somebody's got their phone on speaker, that makes me feel a little more than anxious. But the system is working against the taxpayer and for those who want to use the system. It's really a problem, and it's going to get worse.
Well, Connor's my son, by the way.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, and he brought it up to me the other day because he's bought a car.
I'm sorry. I'm cutting the hell. This might be a 3-hour video. I've been saying this for too long, man. Says for too long. Like, there's people that are destroying the benefit system, man. Destroying it. How is so there's a third, but really it's close to what 40 something% of people on benefits in the UK. What?
With his own money.
Yep.
He's working hard. Yeah, for his dad,
Exactly.
who gives him a hard time.
Yeah.
But he works very hard.
Yeah.
And every month he has to make the payment. He doesn't miss it. He knows if he misses it, what problems it will cause to his credit rating. And he's playing by the rules.
Yeah.
And he said about this, he said, well, I have ADHD. I know they're giving cars to people. He's like, could I? And I was like, well, you're not going.
Don't be it's the message they're giving out here is just how, when they talk about in the dynamics of a relationship, don't be a nice guy. these guys are now telling you, well, I mean, it's the behavior of the behaviors show that men should not be nice guys. The behaviors show that citizens should not be honest, good people. This is the behavior. This is it. How do you expect people to, oh, we need to, everyone do the right thing. Do the right thing, but then everyone else that's doing the wrong thing are being rewarded. What are you saying? Why are you shocked at people's behavior? What are you what? Where's the sense? And then you dare to go, oh my day, you start demeaning the people and start essentially talking negative, talking down to people, saying demonizing them. Sorry, start demonizing. Oh, you're doing this. That's so bad. Look how you're behaving, whatever. Because the person is realizing that I'm following stuff and I'm getting no rewards for following the rules. I keep telling people, listen, man, if you want to know, like, I just can't advise. I can't advise because I'm not a financial advisor. But those that really want to, find I guess, an alternative route, holler at me. Holler at me. Like, there are people that are finding ways to work their way around. So it's not perfect and it's not easy. Nobody said it's easy. I don't want you to be telling, no, you're gonna have to work hard, but the first thing you have to do is bring in income, lower your outgoings, and save. And if you can do those three, holler at your boy. If you can't do that, I'm sorry, I can't help you. All I can do is give you suggestions. Then you decide on how to manage your budget. What's important for you and what's not, because this stuff is what you're suffering from and you don't know. People are running around saying that, oh, things are like this, things are like that, things are like this, and things are like that, and you'll just keep on complaining without actually taking any action. You have to use a brain,
because we're not that.
No.
But the fact that it exists, how many you touched a lot? Was it something like 90% of new car registrations or something ridiculous?
Yeah, 90% of new car registrations last year were on that scheme.
Can you fact check that? Because it's so
just right of life. People are going crazy. As if they need a car. You can't. I keep telling these same humans will then be on other places watching another video, demonizing somebody. When you're there, you're the way you're moving. This is bro. The ones at the top you cannot expect the ones at the top to feel sorry for you. They got this information and realizing when we give them the opportunity, what are they doing? Doing exactly what we're doing, but on a smaller level. Exactly what they're taking crazy advantage on a smaller level. And then it's those people, right, that are honest workers are the ones that are suffering, but the ones that they're still out there, right? The ones that are doing these type of accepting these benefits that they shouldn't really be accepted. Struggle like everybody else. Struggle. But instead of that, you take it and you want it, but then you're still walking around, blaming the government, acting like you're on our side. There is a divide going on right now. And there's people that listen, if you're honest, I'm telling you, please keep doing what you're doing, but then there's people out there, please look into finance in general. Finance is your only option. They should have taught this in schools. Personal finance has to be taught in schools. It has to be taught, and it must be started being taught, and in the future, it must be mandatory. We need to do it. Unfortunately, you can't make it mandatory right now because it's not something, but once it's caught on and people start realizing this, we need to start making it mandatory, because this is craziness. This is greed at its finest. Not only is it the top that's doing this, but then it's both at the bottom as well. That should be working hard, but they're capitalizing. Am I blaming you? No, but I'm telling you, Joe, don't complain when you're doing this. Don't. 90%, is that accurate? I won't be surprised. Human beings will be human beings. They will say they'll be talking out the side of their mouth, demonizing somebody else while they're doing nonsense. Bro.
Oh, unbelievable.
It is. I had no idea it was that big.
I want to find out if that's true. But it's funny because I think everywhere things are being gamed.
And they'll complain.
I was talking to Anne Widdecombe this morning.
How dare you?
sorry to anyone who heard this already, but we've got a real problem of crackheads and drunks on the high street where we live in Bedford. It's a real problem, and they're making people's lives a misery, and they're robbing from the shops. I went to speak to somebody I know works for the police, and he said they don't arrest the drug dealers anymore, the street drug dealers, like the little hood rats. He said, we don't arrest them anymore.
Start realizing to yourself, there's a small percent of people in this world that are genuine. Very small percent of people. Very small percent of people that are at face, you could take them at face value for what they say. The rest of them would be there in comments, insulting. They'll now be looking at some case, I don't know, some random case, insulting other people. This person disgusting. Look what he done. Look what he done. While you're there thinking that it's just white lies I'm doing. I'm just doing stuff that, it's not as bad. But then you know that the world is suffering. You then jump on the bandwagon of, the world is, everything is terrible. This and that, man. Let's blame that person when you should be one keeping quiet. Because you're not one of us. You aren't one of us. I'm telling you, there is a divide right now, and people have to really take sides here, because you'll be there. These people just essentially always want to insult you would go straight to the rich. I'm telling you that yes, they have to take some personal accountability, but then there's many that come on. Who do you start looking around, looking at your friends, start realizing who's doing this? Because there's a plethora, meaning there's too much. There's too much people doing this. 90% is crazy. Son of McCormack, McCormack Jr., please bring up the actual results so we can start, because you're gonna make,
because they know how to game the system. Once they're arrested, they say they're victims of modern day slavery and they're being forced to do this. If they're forced to do this, whilst they're on remand, they will have a meeting with the Salvation Army. If the Salvation Army says yes, they are a victim of modern day slavery, they then become a victim, and then as a victim, they get issued can get issued a house, somewhere to live, and then they start selling drugs from the house. And it feels like
it's not just
we've got all we've built up.
Unfortunately, my bad, guys. But I just want to let you know that the people that are getting benefits, that are getting a free house in general, right? So, benefits. I've got this, I got that. I'm gonna get a free house. You don't believe, so you don't think that they are moving. This is something I didn't want to say. Yeah, but you got to let the cat out of the bag. There's people that'll get their house now. It's 2-bedroom house. Okay, they got a young child, whatever. They'll use one room and they'll bring somebody else in and start saying, "Can you start paying a certain amount?" So not only I'll be paying for these people's houses, right? But they also are getting on top of that as well. Living allowance? Living allowance, right? And on top of that, getting more from somebody. So there's completely gaming the system. This is worse, not Great Britain. This is worse Britain for you.
There's all these giveaway incentive structures, all these different incentive structures that people know how to exploit.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the people who are playing by the rules are getting screwed.
Yes, well, exactly. And increasingly screwed, because those who are playing by the rules, on the whole, are paying tax. And those taxes are going up, and they're going to continue to go up because they're going to have to, because we are spending out so much in various benefits. And when I say benefits, I include state pension, and that's getting big.
Man, state pension. I've been saying that I don't pay into pensions. To me, pensions are the worst. The people talk about banks. Pensions are the worst out of all of them. You can't touch your money for how many years while they're playing with your money like it's casino.
Bigger and bigger and bigger, because we have more and more people who are living longer, and they have every right to have the state pension, but the state pension is going up. We've got more people taking it, and you've got all the other extra benefits, the cost also of the NHS. We've got huge outlays and not nearly enough money coming in, and this government, at least, their answer to it is to increase taxes. But as we're already seeing, increasing taxes is not helping, because the rich people, and increasingly the sort of fairly well off, not particularly rich, they're leaving. They're just thinking, why bother?
Well, I can give you 2 points of reference on that.
Why should they stay?
Every single rich person I know, literally every single rich person I know, I don't know a lot, but is leaving.
Yeah.
They're going to Dubai, Portugal. A lot are going to Dubai. Somebody the other day, I'll tell you about, Connor's just told me they're moving to Dubai. One of the people said to me, he said, I don't.
Had a friend of mine, shout out to you, where we had a talk. Actually, no, I had two friends of mine. One of them was talking to me about, I believe this person's based in Spain. Shout out to you, you know you are. Saying I should probably come out there because they. By the way, I'm not rich and I'm not well off. I just want to clear that up. I'm very good. I'm just a very good person at finance. That's all I can tell you. One of my other friends was saying, Dubai. He mentioned Mexico as well. I'm like, I don't know about. You have to be careful there. Or like anytime I hear Mexico, my brain just comes up Mexican cartel. You know, but that's just I watch too much crime documentaries. But yeah, so this is not a thing. And you know, one of my friends, one of the people I'm talking about is fairly well. I want to say almost rich, but fairly well off. And yeah, just kind of mentioned is like, listen, I know how you are. I know that you know, you're someone that you're not doing bad. So as a result, you might want to take advantage because it's whatever we have to do. You have to capitalize on what we can. Take advantage of the fact that you could go here, go there, apply your skill set over there, make a living over there, and it will be an easier life. And the stuff that you guys see here that is basic, but they've made luxury over here in the UK. You go over there, it's even better. It's even greater, and those stuff that are greater will be just seen as basic. So the actual greater things there will be like here. If the greater things over there, which is actual greatness, if they were here, those services, or let's call it services, were here, there will be, oh my goodness, the expense. They'll literally be worth a house.
I don't mind paying tax. What I don't want to see is it going up and being wasted. I don't want to see it going up and see lawlessness on the streets.
Exactly.
And people taking the piss. So that's true. But also, one thing I feel personally is that running businesses is hard. And I already, I run a couple.
Yeah.
The taxes going up are a squeeze on our profits. But you throw into that new minimum wage, new employment laws, there's a big squeeze between what we bring in and what we send out. And this profit margin is getting smaller and smaller. It has a double incentive. One, can I be bothered to continue this business anymore? What?
I mean, I'm going to this this video is just touching on so much an array of stuff. I had to turn mine dormant. I had to register my business dormant. It was more product-based business that I had registered. It was registered dormant right now due to the fact that it was mainly the tax. That they were chasing the tax. You have to report this, report that. I was like, how do I stop? Because this is not, and it's not. I'm not going to sit and be, oh, my business was so successful. No, not at all. It was a business that, to be fair, I didn't have much time for it, but it's been. I had it registered for years due to the fact that things weren't that bad. I think just before COVID hit was when I really took off with it. But just keeping it alive isn't beneficial for me, especially when they're just going wild at corporation tax. Oh, pay this late fees. Oh, if you pay this, you need to, it's coming up, or you need to fill out your business tax, whatever, a form, right? Tax form, and it's not been finished this year. Then another strike. There you go. Pay us more. They just want money for anything. They just want money. I called them one time. I remember I was like, guys, okay, can I? Oh yeah, but you still owe us from the previous taxes, so you don't pay that. So if only way you can close it down is if you pay which is fair enough. You do this, and then they'd be telling you some other story, and I'm like, what are you? Are you going to close it down for me or not? Because I don't want to have to deal. I don't want to be dealing with corporation tax. It's ridiculous, And it's not like I was an expert at the time, Obviously now I'll probably be a bit, now that I've dealt with that, I could be a bit more knowledgeable on it and operate within a better way. But then it was like, this is just too much headache. It's too much headache. But when I first, I guess when I first registered for it, it wasn't that bad. But I guess when they want money, everything just starts going up. everything just starts going up and it just becomes uncontrollable, and they just get more like, I don't know if it's greed or, I mean, part of it is greed, but at the same time, I think a lot of it is the outside, you know, the pressure from the outside is what I can see as to what's putting so much pressure. That pressure from the outside was putting so much pressure on them, and they just trying to transfer the pressure. So they're like, oh, let's push it onto them, and let's call them up and let's look for any way to make money off them. However we can charge them. Yep, okay, yeah, penalty them. So that's what I would definitely believe is what's going on right now. And essentially, they're just wearing the patience, right, of those that are honest, wearing it thin. They keep on going to see how much more they can go, how far they can go until they break you. Until, well, yeah, everyone is becoming this and that, and we tried, is what they'll say. We tried, but people just become completely lawless. People become this lazy or whatever. When the laziness is already here. What you're doing right now is that you're now having everybody else that's trying to be honest, you're now putting it on them to essentially prop up a society that's absolutely fallen. Absolutely fallen. They'll be telling rules this, rules that. There's governments should be in place. This is why they say the you know, the government right now that's in place are absolutely useless, because governments in place should be ones governments that are usually in place should be ones that are able to I don't use the word guarantee basically, but try to facilitate order, right? And people following rules, because rules have to be, as much as people always say, oh yeah, government is, we don't know, they shouldn't do this. Without government, and a good government, by the way, it's absolute anarchy. You cannot be saying, people say this a lot, oh, they shouldn't be governed or whatever. No, people need to, because look what's happening right now. Look, so they're giving you let's see what they do. Here is benefits that you might not need, but if you could just game it, like we've intentionally left holes, right, in this benefit system, that if you exploit, you'll be able to, and once you do, we can be like, oh, we don't know, we were just honestly trying to help people, and you know, this is what they've done, and this is what people have done. So the people that are basically getting essentially itted on, which is us, this is people that we can only do so much, we can only check so much, we can only do we can only surveil so much and ensure that people are following rules and people are using it in an honest manner. If they don't, this is what's happening to you, but so they're going to try to turn a blind eye, knowing what's going on, right? And the people, the thing with human beings, including we, the thing about us as people, I'm going to include myself, is that you give us an inch, we're going to take a mile, man. We're going to take a mile, because why? Who wants to work? Most people, the majority of people in this world are not happy with their careers or their job. The majority, let's just say, what, if 70% of people. It's a very small amount. It's more. It's a very small amount of people that will tell you that I really enjoy what I do. I feel I'm where I'm supposed to be. I feel at ease. I'm happy, genuinely happy. I'm content. The majority of people are absolutely living a hell on earth when it comes to job, knowing that I've got to get up again. It's just like no one really wants to work. If everybody could follow their passion and get paid off their passion, but this world would be a completely different place. Completely different place. Believe you me.
Why work so hard to not make any money? Secondly, I can't be bothered to start any new businesses. And me and Connor, every day, we're walking up and down and saying, we could put a burger restaurant there. We could put a pizza restaurant there. And we're like, what is the point?
What is the point?
What is the point?
And that's the way I feel as well. Because I run businesses, as you know, I run moneymagpie.com. That's Money Magpie Limited. Every month you think, oh no, tax, you know, you've got to pay the tax and national insurance, or you've got some corporation tax, or you've got the VAT, you know, whatever. Just when you think you're making it's gone in tax. And I have people getting in touch, you know, I've got readers and people who are on my social media saying things like, I'm taking early retirement because I can't be bothered. I had one guy who works in the city. He got some bonuses, a lot of bonuses last year, whatever, made £500,000. No,
I've got a friend of mine. I'm not going to say that's the guy that invited me to do, but he's I don't want to take his. I don't want to say his job title, but he's these type of people. The bonuses, crazy.
Nice. But half of that went in tax, and he said, as soon as I get enough in my pension, I'm off. I'm going to stop. It's just going to stop working, because what is the point? And when, as you say, entrepreneur types who have ideas for businesses are thinking, I'd do that, but what's the point?
What's the point?
You've got a problem. We've got a problem with society when that happens.
And it gets even worse. It gets even worse because
madness.
To even make a profit, then we have to raise our prices.
Yeah.
But when we raise our prices, we have less customers.
Yes.
Right.
We had it today. So I have a bar as well. And the bar, it does okay.
Mhm.
We only open Friday, Saturday. And I was looking at the bank account this morning. I'd paid for all the new supplies in.
Yeah.
There's like 11 grand in there because we've just reopened. We just refurbed. I was like, that's nice. And my accountant sent me a bill. Oh, here's your HMRC bill. It's £4,500. I was like, okay, so that's cut in half again.
Yes.
And I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when.
No.
And I was like,
terrorists at this point.
It's all I see is I actually don't mind supplier bills. I quite like supplier bills because I want to help other companies.
Yeah.
Tax.
Exactly.
Tax.
Yes.
And what do we get? I don't use the NHS unless it's an emergency. We have private medical. We don't use the school system. We're not using any part of the system.
Too. Yeah.
But even the bits we want to use are crap. I had someone driving to the back of my car. That part of their light went into my exhaust. I took a photo of their car. They drove off, by the way.
Yeah.
I took a photo of their broken light with their number plate, and I had the bit of the of their light, which was the perfect shape of the bit that was broken. I sent this to the police. They said there's not enough evidence. And I was like, why?
What more do you want, really?
Why carry on?
Yeah, exactly. And in the taxi coming here, my taxi driver, and this is admittedly fairly typical of the taxi driver, he said, well, it's all the illegals coming in. They're taking it all. Now, they're not.
They're not.
They're really not. But that is the view. And I think, the problem that the Labour Party has, and certainly the Tories had, is that they don't realise that this is what most people are thinking, really the vast majority of the country.
This is what they want you to think as well. When they know what's going on. Like, the benefit system has always been on my mind. And it's like, I know to myself that me opening my mouth about this is going to, bro, you have friends and families that are, that are in these situations, that are probably doing this, man. They're doing what they're, like, bro, like, am I fully blaming people? No, but at the end of the day, this is what you set up, right? The government is what you set up. This is why people are saying you're useless, because, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not going to be, if I was in your position, I would do it. Even 10 times better, I'll be 10 times worse. The country would be in a gutter. But what I'm definitely saying here, right? Because I'm not trying to tell you that I'm better. What I'm definitely going to say is that it is your duty to hire people, right, within the government or whatever, I guess, parliamentary positions that are capable, right? That are going to ensure that stuff like this doesn't go absolutely ape-ish. It's gone wild. This is wild. The benefit system is the way it's. People say, "Oh, the benefit system is a great thing." No, the benefit system in the UK is amazing for people that are outside hearing about what we do and how we supposedly are helping people that are in need. But it's an absolute disgrace for those that are here, that are honest, that are working, and that are paying tax. Absolute disgrace. This is what the people from the outside don't know. But when they come in, what do you think they're going to do? What side are they going to pick? They're going to pick the side of, let me go to the honest idiots. And that I just want to just, ego. I don't want to put benefits. I just wanted to go, or should I go here and probably be able to earn more? When you, what is it? Add up all that is, that people are given in benefits. When you calculate all of that up and compare it to what a normal person, average wage person is working, you realize yourself it's actually better for me to jump on benefit system. It's better for me to jump on the benefit system. Just right of life.
Country is seeing illegals coming in, and it is actually small amounts, really, in the grand scheme of things, but it looks like a lot. And they are seeing a lot of them getting given somewhere to live. They're being given extra money, etc. And they really do feel that if we stop that, then everything would be all right. You know, the NHS would be safe. Blah blah blah. Which, of course, it wouldn't. You know, it's okay. It's a few billion that costs us, but you know, compared to the NHS, which costs us what 192 billion. You know, yeah, it's nothing really. But from a
it's
societal,
a useful boogeyman.
It is a useful boogeyman, but I do think that there is mileage in the government saying, right, we're really going to stop this. Look, we are stopping this, and we are going to we're giving money to the British homeless. We're not just homing people who have just come in. These are things that people see, and that really upsets them. And if they could sort that a little bit out, then they could go, right, now we've still got a problem. What do you suggest we do? Because we will still have a problem.
Just want to say it's 20%, not 90%, so it's
20%.
well off.
But
even
5 cars.
But
I'm gonna say that 9% is not. I was like, Mr. McCormack Jr. Please, before I go absolutely nonsense, 90% is is an abomination. It is. Jace, I'm happy you cleared that up. 90% shows that the people are going actually well. 20% is still terrible as well. 20% is horrendous. That is not 20% is not good because you shouldn't. But that's more. That's too much. It's just too much, bro. That's a lot. When you look, 20% of what is that? UK population can't be UK population. Oh, geez, we're talking about, bro. Well, hundreds of definitely completely way into the hundreds of thousands. I don't know if it's 5, 6, 7. If it's hitting a milli, oh gosh.
Yeah, but even that is massive. 1 in 5 cars is being bought by the government, essentially.
Yeah.
How many cars is that?
Wild. I'm seeing cars drive by right now. So 1 out of 5 of them, it's broken. It's not broken, it's broken. This is worst, Britain.
So it was about 800,000 cases last year.
Oh, no.
Cases of
This scheme. This scheme went through 800.
And what's the average price for the car?
Well, this is the thing. On there, it's like there's BMW M4s and stuff. Who needs that?
Well, some people,
drug
you know, if you might get anxiety in a Ford Focus. It sends me mad.
Yes.
It sends me. I don't even know how we've got here.
You don't.
But we have I feel like we have a completely broken system everywhere I look.
Yes, but it's not just in this country. I think that the West, and I include Australia and Japan in that. The West is broken in large measure. We've once you give.
That's not that the UK is just very, very bad. It's that one of the worst, if not the worst, in the West. Let's not lie to ourselves here. Because you're right, yes, the West in general, there's many stuff that's broken in the West. But UK, oh no. No. Everybody knows about our system. Our benefit system is legendary. People are coming in droves not to work.
People think you can't take them away again, and that's the problem. You know, when you look at France tried to put through a few, I would say, relatively small, very sensible, changes, cuts in their budget. Yes, they tried to do it, and the whole government collapsed on it. You know, I mean, I think they were trying to improve their pension system. I mean, people retire at about 60 in France. You know, it's going up to 67 here in a few years' time. And so they wouldn't have that. And we are getting to the point, I think, where we're going to have some sort of financial crash across the West, not just in this country, but across the West. Because until things really crash, really get bad, any government that tries to take stuff away is going to collapse because people.
What type of crash? A 1929 type style crash.
People do not like to have things taken away from them.
Well, they voted for more of it in Australia and Canada right now.
To be fair, I mean, there are certain TAs that I follow, chart analysts basically, right? Certain TAs that I follow are predicting one of the biggest crash, or since I don't want to go onto that lane because that's going to be I'm going somewhere else. People are like, what the hell are you talking about? For those that know, I guess yeah, but her saying that is almost like it's borderline ominous, you know. This is there needs to be a quote unquote reset. Let's continue.
I don't think we're going to, and we'll get on to that, but they have voted for more of it. But I was out when we were in Argentina, Kurt, about a year and a half ago. Yeah, we went to Argentina.
Yeah.
Which has insane levels of inflation.
Oh, yes.
Insane levels of inflation. But by the way, weirdly, you don't notice it when you get there. Inflation isn't something you see. You have to be told about it because you go to Starbucks, there's people in Starbucks. You know, the restaurants, they're full.
Yeah.
But they were explaining to me is that it can get a lot worse before people complain about it.
Yes.
Because of the way voting works.
Yes.
Because there's so many people who rely on government that they can keep government in power, keep giving things away. He said it really took something special, Millet coming in to really communicate something different. But I'm like, how bad is it going to get? Because I swear, every direction, everything's broken.
Yeah, it is. I interviewed the former MP, Steve Baker.
Oh, no, Steve. Yeah, he's been here.
Yes, he's a lovely man. Yeah, and he was saying that he feels we've got about 14 years left of
what
government money. And basically, you know, he used numbers from the OBR, and he worked out, he's got some graphs, you know, money coming in from tax going down, money having to go out in benefits, etc. And there comes a point in about 14 years' time when it all crashes. Personally, I think it's going to be earlier, really, because
it doesn't.
Again, this government is giving away even more. I mean, they're trying to cut. They've had a big problem cutting the fuel payments for the pensioners, etc. That's caused some big problems. I don't know. I mean, I think there are good reasons to do that, but I don't know why they did that first off. That doesn't seem like a clever move. Again, from a PR point of view, it doesn't seem like a clever move to me, but there we are. But at some point, there literally will not be the money. And at that point, whoever is in government, I think, and this is sort of my logic, which may not work out, but I think that whoever's in government is going to have to go to the country and go, this not have, this is how much we are obligated to spend. We cannot cover this. You tell us where we should do the cuts. That's what I would do if I were in government. I'd say, yeah, here we are. Here are the figures. You tell us who's going to have the cuts. Is it going to be the state pension? Is it going to be the NHS? Is it going to be education? Is it going to be benefits for the poor? What were you going to do?
I really don't, because so I looked. I mean, our tax receipts are about $1 trillion, and we're spending about 1.1, maybe it's 1.15 trillion. So we go.
Sorry, guys. Wait a sec. Keep going.
Over budget 10 to 15%. So I think the cuts need to be more than 10 to 15% because I think we need to lower taxes to drive business incentives. But I mean, my starting point would be just to go and look at the big ticket items and force departments. If we need a 30% cut, I don't know, cut every department by 40%.
Yeah,
just slash
it. Do it. Yes,
just slash through it. And start again. I was talking yesterday with my son. I said, very occasionally I go to my bank and go to my direct debits, and there's a bunch I don't even know what they are, and I just cancel them all and I wait till people complain and go, oh yeah, I need that and I don't need that.
Yeah, that's good.
I think if you got rid of 50% of government,
nobody would notice.
I don't think they would.
Yeah, because government has gone bigger and bigger, and I don't know how that happens because they've become more and more inefficient. I mean, 100 years ago we had very few civil servants, and now it's all civil servants, it seems. And I've been dealing with my local council recently, and they are by no means one of the worst councils. And I've been talking to people who literally cannot describe what they do as a job. You know, I say to them, "What do you do?" Well, I'm supporting this. No, but what do you do day to day? Well, I'm sometimes, and they're often off for whatever reason, you know. So that's just one little local council. It's all over the country, and all the departments got people who do nothing really.
So how much pressure are people under? Because I know people's circumstances are different, and weirdly, I feel like last year was worse than this year. There's been a rebalancing. I just see it with my businesses.
Yes.
I saw the numbers; they weren't great last year. We're back a bit better this year.
Well, inflation has, in theory, gone down. I say in theory because I don't honestly believe a lot of the figures that come out of the ONS, the Office of National Statistics. You know, I mean, as we know, they changed the basket of goods for good reasons and also bad, I consider. So, you know, they say, oh, inflation's flattened off. And I think, really? You know, I look at my shopping basket and I think, is it not according to my shopping basket? But I think generally things have stopped going up so vertiginously this year, which has made things a little bit easier. But my feeling is that when you hear middle earners and sort of middle upper earners going, you know, it's a bit tricky, we're going to have to cut this, we're going to have to cut that. There's a general sense of worry, even with people who are earning fairly decent amounts. For a start, they are more and more worried about tax, like we've been saying. They're worried about an inheritance tax. I know a couple of people who are in their, I don't know, 70s, 80s, who are moving house because of inheritance tax. So that's sort of not like, you know, problems day to day, but there are, I'm hearing more from people who are not going out as much. They're not doing this as much, not doing that. You know, they're a bit concerned. They're bothered by the gas and electricity bills, of course, the water bills. You know, don't get me started, and council tax as well. You know, again, like you say, they're saying my council tax has gone up by whatever 40%. Am I getting better and anything better? No, it's worse actually because they're not collecting the bins, etc. So this is what's sort of swirling around among a lot of the people that I know and that I talk to through my business and through social media.
The humblebee, a keystone species crucial to the survival of.
Peter, what's going on here?
If
might have to just
by doing things.
I don't know what type of. Oh, is that okay, that's your sponsor. Just randomly just jumped in there as if you think it was a YouTube sponsor.
How about at the very bottom end, the people are struggling the most? And I will get onto the middle class, but how is it for the people of the poorest end of society?
Yeah.
Is it getting impossible to live, impossible to feed, to heat?
Well, for some people, yes, absolutely. I mean, again, you've got the sort of the two-tier ones that, you know,
the ones playing by the rules.
Yes, the ones playing by the rules. I've got a friend, she's a single parent. She works all the time. She's on universal credit. It's a constant balancing act with universal credit because you can do this, but you can't do that. And
How do you mean?
Well, you can earn a certain, you know, because universal credit helps with if you're actually earning money at the same time, but you can only earn a certain amount. So you mustn't earn more than a certain amount because otherwise you're going to lose your universal credit.
They don't scare.
This is wildness, bro. So people are working, have full-time. I think what they're talking about as well, guys, is if you have a job as and work in universal credit, you can get universal credit. Sorry, so if you've got a part-time job, you get to you get to actually apply for universal credit. I've never. I mean, I was when I didn't have a part-time job. I was living with parents anyway back then years ago. But I never. I mean, I don't think universal credit. I don't think that type of benefits was available then. But now, just thinking about it as well, people can have a part-time job, guys, and then jump on universal credit. Why? What? How? All I will say is that if you are somebody that's doing that, you're on universal credit. You have a part-time job, universal credit, and you're getting your house paid for. This is madness. But if you are, you need to, bro. You need to really you're already gaming the system anyway. So you might as well start getting some of that money and then, bro, put it into somewhere where it can make your money work for you. I always use that term as opposed to say what I really want to say because, you know, but make your money work for you. If you know what I mean, let like, you know, make it, you know, comment it, but make your money work for you. You might as well, because at the end of the day, it's a fight for survival. I'm not even mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the government that have set it up this way, where this could be happening like this, where people, instead of people, oh, let me go and get a part-time job and I need to pay my bills, but let me go get another part-time job. How about that? I know it's not easy. It was never supposed to be easy. But you get a part-time job and you get another part-time job, and then that's as opposed to, oh, let me get a part-time job and now I've got universal credit. Now I can just chill. when we work part-time, people ask you, oh, what do you do, man? Oh, I work part-time. Okay, yeah, okay. People will never dig into, okay, you're okay, cool, okay, where do you live? You go, oh, okay, you live at, oh, okay, yeah, how much is your rent then? People won't even go that deep. It's almost as though people already know, like, yeah, the way the system is right now, this person is probably, if they're not working full-time, they're probably like,
Scale it.
Yeah, they sort of do scale it, yes, but that's the thing. It
Sounds like a trap.
It kind of is. Yeah, I mean, this is a problem though with all benefits. Essentially, are a trap because you have to be a certain level of poor to get them, and you might actually want to work X amount, but you have to watch it, because if you do work more, then you will lose not only the money that you're getting in benefits, but also the extra freebies like free school meals and, you know, free this and that. So you have to kind of balance it. I can't think of a way that you can really do benefits in a way that will totally work. You can do it in a way that will work for a lot of people, but it's really difficult, I think, for any government to create a benefit system that will stop the poor getting really poor, but also not put people off working at all, or working as much as they could do and probably should do.
Is there any credit you can give to the kind of the idea that this is a bit more sinister? There's like an idea of keeping people poor, so they are subservient and they vote for you.
Well, there's certainly
UBI.
a sense of that with universal basic income. I mean, I've talked to various MPs. I mean, like Steve Baker, like Steve Webb. There are some. You know, I've known some good ones. I interviewed John Prescott years ago. You know,
Great.
and this is before he was Home Secretary, and I was really impressed by his ideas. And you know, there are a lot of MPs who genuinely want to help and they want to make things better, and they're very concerned, etc. So I don't think that across the board. I think there probably are a few who you know have this sort of overarching idea of keeping people down, but a lot of MPs, they really do want to do the best. But I think universal basic income as a concept, I think that absolutely is to keep everybody down, and to stop them coming up with the pitchforks and, you know, beating down the gates of the billionaires. That's the idea.
And I mean, that's what the universal. If you really open eyes, you know, this is something that I don't even know why I wasn't
happening.
Sorry, I don't know why I wasn't really just, you know, grasping it straight away. Like, it's exactly what it is. You know, they've already. It's just something that, you know, you will own nothing and be happy. All these type of things. Like, you know, the fact that people are already showing people, they're just doing this as a let's see. Will they take the bait? Oh snap! This lets them know. Okay, so it's very, very, very possible that if we set up a UBI system and let people know, well, I mean, you're actually better off not working. Do you not want to just basically just be? Do you know? Do you not want to just not have to slave away? But then you basically get this is your rations for this time period, and then, you know, and you don't necessarily have to pay for your house. We just give you a house, basically. As long as you do this, we'll give you a house, and, you know, you get to, and then you're able to spend this amount, and here's the digital pound. Like, I'm hoping people have done their research, studied, to kind of know what the hell is going on, like this stuff. I'm not gonna go. I just want to talk to you about your personal finance and how you can help yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's either you get control. They need to teach this in schools.
Anyway, now, because we've had this tax the rich, tax the billionaires idea floating around. I've seen politicians promote it. I've seen Gary Stevenson promote it. I've seen a lot of people promoting this idea, despite the fact in every country that's tried it's failed. They're promoting it and they're demonizing wealthy people.
And I'm always trying to say that although it's tax it's not. Where is it? Well, how does that really work when the system is? So it's not find out who is really gaming the benefit system and cut them off doing that. Again, although I think Jasmine Birtles just said that the benefit system is not as much. It's not really the percentage as to its what it contributes to the total. To the total is quite minimal, quite minuscule, to be fair. But people like us are still being affected. Like, it would be great to be able to, for them to be able to say, oh, tax has been reduced by so and so amount. It might be just percentage by point percentages. It's better than nothing, because we know who's pocketing all this stuff. We know who's pocketing all this stuff. Continue, Peter. Sorry.
I don't like it.
No.
Even if somebody inherited it, somebody else went out and earned it.
Yes, yes, true.
You know,
yeah.
And if we demonize these people, you're demonizing the wealth creators, and they'll just leave. What?
Doesn't make any sense, does it? But I think what isn't done enough is dealing with the big companies. And I mean, I do get angry with Amazon, Google, Facebook, etc. You know, these. I mean, there's many reasons to get angry with them anyway. But their refusal to pay any tax is part of it. Well, refusal to pay much tax at all. That's why they're in Ireland or Luxembourg or wherever they can be, and they're selling things in the UK, but they're actually paying tax somewhere a long way away that doesn't really charge them much. So that sort of thing I do have a problem with. But
that's a licensing system. So they go to a low tax jurisdiction.
Which I was going to say, that's how which is essentially a loophole. They're just going to go to a place and say, this is where we're registered. Very, very simple. And then that's where, I guess they'll be using those tax codes to, but this is something that the general, when you talk about people, when you talk to people about these things, this isn't part of personal income, but this is part of just knowledge of just basically, I guess, how the world works. I guess for those that like yourself, Peter, that have started some sort of business and had it registered and realized that you can register it wherever. It doesn't necessarily have to be you registering your business in the UK. You can actually register it wherever. But I mean, there are rules to this, right, and policies. But I mean, Amazon is worldwide. So, and who's going to stop them when they literally have what is it? Physical presences, I guess. I want to say shops, but we could call it these physical warehouses, right? Let's call them warehouses, right? When they have these physical warehouses all across the world, well, you're gonna stop them and say, "Oh no, you're not based there. You're not. Your official registered address isn't there." That doesn't make sense. Of course they're gonna do this. I just don't know the how then that allows them to, because they have physical presences somewhere in other countries. How are they able to avoid saying that that's not my registered address when you're literally dealing out of there? Operations are running through this place every single day. But I'm not.
And then let's say the UK will have a license, which is the profits.
Exactly. So that is really annoying. That really gets my goat. But anything that, as you say, demonizes making money, growing businesses, etc., is stupid, just stupid. And it's against human nature. And I find this with quite a lot of governments, and I mean particularly the government that we have at the moment. They don't get human nature, that if you demonize that, or if you make it harder and harder to earn where you're working and you're constantly paying tax, it's human nature to go, well, I just won't, but I'll leave, or I'll just stop.
They do get it. That's the thing. They do get it. This is when some people are telling you that it's all by design. They get it. What we'll think of, but if we really use our critical thinking, what happens if all these people that we're talking about, right, that are essentially almost trying to fight back but that can't, and just leave now, and then you're left with people that don't want to fight back anymore? Who's left? What's left? you're left with a society where those that are here are pretty much going to do as we say. Do as we say. Now, yes, it might be like, okay, well, but that just means that those people are stuck there and these people have gone over there. If it is now known, why, if it's widely now recognized that, oh snap, yeah, the rich went away and the poor are still here, and then look what the government have been able to do with the quote unquote poor people there. They've essentially just become accustomed to that way of life where UBI is now proliferated. Oh wow, it's working. Let's start doing this. Let's not do it everywhere else. Let's now slowly but surely, it's going to take time, but let's slowly and surely make sure that these taxes, right, the way how we carried it out, let's go and tax it every single place till you find all the rich and just situated in one small tiny island. Let's just say the Bahamas over there, just all of them waiting there. They're going to have to also surrender. Obviously, the more money you have, like, I guess the better the better you're placed in order to try to fight these sort of I don't know, for want of a better term, tyranny. But this is why it's not like they don't know. They know exactly what's happening. Okay, yep, the rich will disappear, right? And those going to affect the economy. We have to start taking into consideration what is happening when it comes to, oh, the rich are going to go, so new businesses aren't being set up and we don't have workers that want to work, whatever. Well, who needs this? Not these people are, yes, the people that are the brains of the operation that create jobs, that create wealth. But when you have the rise within AI, right? AI is going to be taking jobs anyway. There's many jobs that have been completely made redundant. People have been made redundant. People have, their jobs, their roles become obsolete because it could be replaced by AI anyway. And they're working 25 cents on the dollar, on the dollar anyway, basically, but whatever that is in the pound, I guess it works like 20, let's just say 20p on a select by on the pound. Come on, like who? So you could basically pay AI. You could pay the AI, which is going to become AI robots. But for now, it's just whatever system they're using right now. Pay AI less. They work longer. They don't get tired. They don't sleep 24 hours. No holidays. I'm not saying this is exactly why they're doing it. I'm just telling you that if we're gonna go down that path of UBI, you guys mentioned, Peter mentioned himself, universal basic income. If we're gonna go down that route, then I think this is not too odd of a shout, right? That makes absolute sense. Run them out and then have the people that are gonna just give up, and then we just develop the society we want, mold the society we want into shape, and then go from there.
Working or whatever, because why should you carry on? And then you have a domino effect, of course, as you know, because if the people at the top are saying, I'm not going to be bothering with this business anymore, then the people who work for them suddenly have to find more work. But if loads of people are giving up their businesses, there isn't the work, etc. So they end up being in the civil service and just taking money and doing nothing.
Do you think this current government
and then get replaced? They will get replaced by computers, AI robots. Done.
Very critical of, but I'm also very critical of the previous Conservative government. Do you think it's ideological, or do you think they're just plain stupid? Because what I can't understand is there's no one in any business experience on the front bench. Every decision they've made, they've been warned against the implications. The implications have been proven true
anyway
in terms of lower growth, and they talked about there would be no taxes on working people, but they raised national insurance, which is a tax on working people. So they've been proven wrong pretty much every step since they've come into power. They are ringing the bell of NHS waiting this time down. We know what they're up to. But these people are just fundamentally too stupid to be doing the jobs they're doing.
Honestly, it does seem like it, and this is certainly what I felt before they even got in. The people that were standing, you thought, no, really, seriously. I mean, I have been saying for years, and it's not popular, but I do think that MPs should be paid a lot more than they are,
I agree.
and certainly
like
the Prime
Singapore.
Minister. Yes. Yes, I mean, pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
Yeah.
And it's a miserable job. You know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I wouldn't do it, frankly. But if they paid twice what they're paying now, which is probably, you know, closer to what it should be, then you might just get some people who are intelligent, people who, as you say, they run businesses, you know, they know how the world works. That could be better. But, you know, what we've got at the moment is a joke. And I think it's a mixture of ideology and stupidity. You know, the net zero nonsense,
Yeah.
for example, you know, how intelligent is it to insist that we all have solar panels, to take up prime farmland with solar panels and insist that all new builds have solar panels on the roofs and then block the sun? You know, you just think, really? I joined up thinking, I don't know.
I think these are puppets in place, man. These are I've done a video about Donald Trump. People talk about DJT a lot. And there is a cohort of people that really were, you know, happy that, you know, DJT is now he's on his second term. And for me, I'm just thinking to myself, but they're really happy. And everyone is like, oh yeah, you know, he's, you know, Biden this, Biden that, and Biden's finally gone or whatever. And I'm in the video I was saying how, so it's just ironic to me that DJT, the person that nobody wanted when he first applied, everyone was like, America's over. If he was to ever win, America's just finished. Why is there a celebrity, basically, right? Anyway, why is a celebrity applying for, applying to become the president, right? The POTUS, right? And why is it that this time around, second time around, he's I guess his main rival is someone that literally could not speak, literally could not form sentences together. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that they made it so easy that everyone started begging. They were begging for give us that medicine, which is Trump now. Told him. They made it so easy. Like, Biden can't speak, let alone run a country, let alone, you know, give orders. He cannot finish sentences, simple sentences. He's sleeping on the job. Right? Yes, there might be. I mean, I'm saying it from a point of view of, I don't want to make it like comedic, basically. I'm sure there was he has like health issues, something of that nature. And if he does, I'm not gone too much into Biden. I don't know exactly what situation is with him in terms of like from a healthcare standpoint, but it's like, well, like, how could you not pick DJT? Of course. So my question to the American people was, is DJT is he the biggest puppet to ever step into to ever become, well, re-become, for want of a better word, POTUS? Like, to me, that's screaming like planned. Like, this guy's not, I mean, John Trump's a businessman. That's what he is. He's a business. I'm not knocking his business now at all. That's not what I'm knocking. He's a far better businessman than me. I'm not a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Like, so basically what I'm trying to say is I cannot talk about that. He's a businessman. But when it comes to policies and, you know, rules or quote unquote, people are calling him a dictator, whatever the case may be, right? When they even come to that, if we're going to use that term, dictatorship, what Donald Trump? Well, I mean, people will say that, well, he's a businessman and so forth, so that those can sometimes be seen as we can describe as dictators, basically. But what does he know about, you know, anything to do outside of just business? And it's just funny how America's now being run as a business. So when you look at these people that are in place, right, in power in the UK, in Parliament, and you're saying that, oh, they think like this, and how will they hide, and how will they? Well, why not put a puppet in place and make sure that they are gonna they're the ones people are gonna like really just focus their gaze on. They're not gonna focus their gaze on the all-seeing eye. What is it, model? Is it like people are just focusing their eyes on those that are leading the troops, right? Those that are leading the troops. They're gonna focus their eyes on them. It's these people that are answering to Sauron, who's answered Lord of the Rings. If you don't know, just like so. Yeah, these people are just puppets. Just put them there. They really don't know what they're talking about. You know what they're saying. They're coming up with simplicity, or they're really. I doubt is that they're really smart and they're acting dumb. I think they're probably just not that bright. But it's all essentially by design. Is what I would say. I mean, how are they there? You say, oh, it's because of the pay and whatever. So what? So they're paying so low that there's people that are just halfway smart. What you're saying is these people are really just borderline. So people that are halfway smart are where? Where are they in Parliament? Are they in lesser roles, earning less? Are they in higher roles, earning higher? Wherever they are, the ones that we're seeing right now that are calling shots, you're saying they're getting underpaid, and this can't be this just can't. No, this is very clear. They're the puppets. We're gonna pay you a certain amount. You're useless, but as long as they don't come for us, right? Like we'll just be behind the veil, and then you just take all the you know devour all the tomatoes being thrown at you.
So I would say it's a mixture of ideology and just plain thickness.
Well, we probably have a job then to explain basic economics to the voting public.
Yes.
Because, again, if we drive away millionaires, at least your taxes going up. So there's no point demonising them. Just get into the real world with that.
Yeah.
If we want to drive growth, then we can't do that by raising taxes.
No.
And I think ultimately a lot of people are voting for things that are making it worse off for them, but they're convinced it's the other way around. Like if we have more borrowing, if government just prints more money, great, this should be good for us. But actually that drives inflation, that hurts the poorest the most. I think we have a job to educate the public on basic economics, because I don't think many people understand it.
No, and you can tell with personal finance, which is a branch of economics, that's what I do. And the reason I've done this
talk to me, Jasmine, because I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to ensure that those that can relate to me begin to understand. But listen, I'll take it away.
20 years or so is because most of us, including myself, we're not taught basic economics, home economics. We're not taught personal finance, and therefore we are, on the whole, way poorer than we need to be. In fact, what I've done now, I run moneymagpie.com, and I set it up originally as a sort of catch-all sort of personal finance, everything from getting out of debt to investing, because I felt, well, that's the life journey. Now we're particularly concentrating on investing because the World and his wife is a personal finance expert, allegedly.
You see, and she's extremely right. This is why I'm trying to tell you. Listen, don't subscribe to me. I'm not a personal finance expert. I am not. I'm not a personal finance advisor. None of that. All I tell you is the way the economy is going and how people are complaining and what. It's very, very simple. It all starts. I hope she said, listen, Jasmine's about to educate me, but it starts from savings, starts from income, then your outgoings, then your saving. That's the first three. Then we can go into investing and then protection. But it starts from those three first. And many people are getting the first three completely. They don't know that. They just don't know how to do it. People are getting an income, outgoings crazy, and they're wondering why they can't save anything. So forget about investing. There's no point even getting there. You tell people about investing, they'll be telling you, oh, they're scared or whatever. Oh no, it's just no. I'm thinking to myself, you're just saying this stuff because you've not mastered the first three. Because if you have, you would have money to be able to say, you know what, I've got 5K lying around. I can put 10th of that. Let me put 500 into like investing into whatever and see gold or stocks. But let me just let Jasmine, because this is, I don't know Jasmine personally, but please go ahead. You seem like you're an expert here. So let's go.
But nobody much is talking about investing in a way that people can understand. And I do feel that if we could get a handle on just the basics of not spending too much and saving.
Well, I mean, this stuff is obvious. So I don't want to act as though I'm some, like, this is not, again, I'm not an expert, man. I'm not. I just happen to, once I mastered, guys, it's a process. You have to master income, outgoings, savings. It goes in that order. You have to make money first. When you make the money, you then look at, okay, expenses, because you're going to have to spend stuff. Naturally, when you make money, you're going to have to spend. Even if you're not spending, you're going to want to treat yourself. That's an expense, right? But then the savings comes from this minus income minus outgoings. Somehow people's savings are in the red because their outgoings have exceeded their incomes. So they're investing, they can never get there. It's impossible. How do you invest with minus? This is a cycle where, like I said from my other videos, it needs to be ingrained in you. I was lucky because I had a brother that was just like this. I don't know what, it's not like, maybe my mom just was teaching, him some on the low where I wasn't present. Like I say, he's 1 year older than me, so it's not like I was too young to maybe she was sneaking him away and then giving him information out. But when he's there talking to me, he's saying at 11 years old, he's telling me, yeah, let's start our own investment and let's start investing our money, which basically he meant saving our money. But he called the business he called it what we were doing, hyper investments. Let's save our money. We get pocket money. We get any money we find, any stuff we do. I'm going to school. I'm there with my 2 other friends where they're picking up pennies. By the end of the week, we split that money between us. I'll take my third. I'll just add it to the stuff me and my brother's doing. At the same time, we're going with our friends in our area, our friends within our neighborhood. We're going to arcade places where they were playing games, and we're also going under the arcade machines to find out that there's pennies years ago. I'm talking about 2000 before 2010 times, or completely 2010. Talking about early 2000, going through under the machines and picking up stuff as young kids. We weren't even teenagers, picking up stuff. Then these times we're taking this money and then finding, this was like more money. But in a good day, you could have made, you could have found between 10 and 20 pounds within a good day. When you're sharing that amongst 4 of you, your kids were not. I keep saying it. We were young doing this. They'll just overlook us, being, oh, look at these little young kids. And then we'll split that between us. We'll also do. So the whole income thing, just once I started working, I was already, I was already used to making money and not spending it, because that's my brother is. I just keep it. Once or twice we'll buy stuff that's needed, maybe trainers, because we're kids as well. We're getting older into our teenagers. We're kids. We're like, okay, we want to at least look cool, look good. So you start spending a bit, but you're always making sure that you're reeling it in. You don't want to go crazy. This type of stuff is people don't know this stuff. It's not like they don't know it. It's they don't know how to not spend. Stop spending. Stop. Spell it. Spending. You man can't spell it, but you're there. You know how to do it. It's costing you, and then there's no. How do you get to the other? How do you even get to protection? When you started to protect your assets, protecting assets. What do you do when you're not taking, unnecessary risks? Protect what you have. Nobody, when people ain't gonna get to the 5th level, right, of personal finance.
And then get a handle on investing and understand how it means that your money grows while you sleep, then a whole load of social problems would be, sorted out, because we, our individual selves, would be managing our money in a way that we could.
What's your name? It's Jasmine. Once again, I'm not an expert. I'm not. I don't listen. I'm just realizing the people like me that are thinking, how do we get out of this? Or people that are just normal people. I speak to people, and they speak. This is like speak like me, act like me, dress like me, look like me, and they're wondering how we're in the situation we're in, and they're complaining about the same stuff. And I'm like, but what's your PF like? What is it like? I'm telling people that are friends with me. I'm like, what? Why do you like? You're going on 20 holidays, B. What's your say? Like, let me see your budget. They don't. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Never done. It's never done. They're hiding away, not wanting to, trying to avoid it. I'm like, what is going on with you people, man? Oh, geez. Talk, please, Jasmine.
Could cope with, and we'd also see how we're being screwed by the banks, by the financial companies, and also certainly by the authorities. All the money that's being taken out, because it's people who are earning that go, oh, hold on a minute, look what all this tax that we're being charged. People who are not earning, they don't care about the tax, you know, and they just want the benefits. Thank you.
Do people generally understand the difference between money and assets?
Why would they?
They don't.
No.
Why would they? Why would they understand this, my guy? Peter, talk just take a sort. Like, how are they gonna know? People out here, it's crazy how the most
No, I really don't think so, actually. I mean, a lot of people don't know what asset means anyway, and that's when I do courses, I do workshops on how to manage your money, and I talk about having your money in different asset classes. Like, do you know what an asset class is? And very few people do. So, you know, there's a very...
This is what I started to learn, that I'm telling you, personal finance is a superpower. She's talking about asset classes, which is more so towards investing, right? But personal finance is a superpower. Because what she just said, very people do. I don't know if she's exaggerating. I don't think that very people do. I would like to think maybe 40% of people do, which is quite high. We're almost touching 50% here, basically. Me saying 40% of people know about, you know, asset classes and so forth. But I cannot believe that that's not the case in this world now, where the barriers to entry into, you know, investing and stuff like that is not. Well, actually, no, it makes sense. Basically, when you look at stuff like the GameStop saga and how that really brought Robin Hood to the eyes of that mainstream people. Obviously, the big wigs knew, so like corporates knew, these like finance bros knew, but yeah, just ordinary people didn't know. In fact, people were finding out of like Reddit, normal regular people with 9 to 5s, finding out on Reddit, people that were sitting at home in 2020, not knowing what's going down, confused. A lot of people jumped on the whole investing thing. I know about it. Taxman, I've never told you I've invested, so I don't know what you're talking about. And even I did, I've paid it off. I need to pay off. But like I said, I've not. But those that were finding out about stuff like that in 2020, really, I mean, those that found out about this and got into it was because of 2020. They had to sit at home and do what? Everybody was like, "Raw, my money is dissipating." Oh, okay, I need to look at this. And they just started looking into you know, knowing what money is. What is money? How was this system we had, the money? How was the I guess, yeah, cash system we have in place right now? How was it? How did it come to be? Huh? What were the different types of ways of exchanging value back then, before money, before the paper money we were using right now? Right? People just think that cards just came out. No, as if credit cards wasn't an idea that was just birthed and then it caused destabilize the market at some point. People just taking credit for everything. Credit this, credit that, credit that. Like all these things that, you know, when I say stock, like, do you know what is the actual, what a stock actually referred as? Stocks and shares. You know, like you hear, man.
Very basic lack of knowledge. Again, the debt advisor that I was speaking to last month, he said, and we're all saying, you know, we're all singing this same hymn sheet. He said, we've got to have training in personal finance, because that lady,
bro, we need to start teaching personal finance in schools. It's as though I did type in personal finance into YouTube at some point a few days back. So I don't know why this video has come into my presence. Has come to, you know, into my space. But the fact that she's saying what she's saying, I'm gonna have to look into Jasmine Birtles' other videos to see what she's talking about, man. Because I'm learning this myself. But what I'm understanding is people that I will tell, go and look into her, go and look at you know, at what she's talking about. Go into her YouTube, they won't go. Some of my people will be telling me, no. Oh, can you tell me how do you know this stuff? And they kind of want me to tell them. And I'm starting to realize in this world, when you go to schools, for example, when you going to school, whatever, you find that you learn from certain teachers. Why are you learning from that teacher? Why are you able to learn from that teacher, right? But then this teacher, you're not, and they're teaching different thing. It just might be a different teacher teaching at some point. Why is it you learn this? You're able to take in information from this teacher, but then you wasn't from this teacher. You realize yourself that everybody literally is somewhat of a teacher, right? Because I'm telling my guy, go and watch when it comes to investing and like macroeconomy, please go and listen to Raoul Powell. You know, like I think he's like really, really, you know, good at kind of what he does, right? When it comes to like TAs and chart analysts, whatever, go look at the blockchain backhoe, stuff like that, and like listen to him, and they just don't enjoy it. Telling me check, I can't explain it to you because this is not my area. But if you want to know about maybe how I can aid, or not even aid, suggest, because not aid, I'm not giving anyone anything, but you know, suggest things that you could look into or do, maybe up to you. If you flop, you flop. If you do great, you do great. I'm not taking any responsibility for either. If you win, don't come thank me. If you lose, don't come blame me. So, you know, how can I suggest to you stuff that you can do to better your personal finance? Because this is stuff that I've lived. I'm not an expert, but I've lived it. So when I'm getting people coming to me and wanting to know stuff, it lets me know that, okay, maybe I'm kind of good at this. You know, I'm not bad. Jasmine, you tell me, baby girl.
Who was getting £66,000, who is getting £66,000 a year, she had come to him for help because she wasn't managing. And, you know, her kids are getting free school meals. She's getting all these other benefits, but she was in debt.
Oh.
So, you know, and he said, we've got to have more financial literacy.
My last video where I said, this is what I was saying. We are in terrible disarray right now. But that doesn't mean that you cannot get it's your responsibility, right? Your personal financial situation is your responsibility. You're accountable for that. You cannot now say, oh, because the economy shouldn't be affecting you that much. If the economy is now affecting you that much, you didn't have your things in place like you thought you did. You didn't have your things in place like you thought you did. Because yes, inflation has gone up, but you should be living within your means anyway, to the point that okay, this could happen, but I'm already protected by the blood of Jesus. I'm joking. I'm already protected. I'm already protected by the fact that I've done my budgeting. I've all these plans. I've put them in place already. This is why I say it's your fault. I'm not saying that cost of living isn't crazy. I'm not saying the benefits and system has gone in complete chaos. I'm not saying the tax system isn't one that's robbing us. I'm telling you that your personal finances is your responsibility. You need to fix this stuff. So anytime stuff happens, right? They always say, save for a rainy day. Many people haven't saved for a rainy day. This is why you're complaining like this. I don't agree that you know, stuff should go up, right? And we should be suffering for it. But I also don't agree that you should not be looking at your own personal situation and a personal financial situation and realizing that you need to be tightening this stuff up. And it's very simple about how to do this stuff. Just don't spend on, not stop spending. Stop. Oh my goodness, stop spending. Oh, this car, nice car. Listen, I need to get that. Stop. Spend Jesus aside. Just right.
Education we've just got to have, because you know it's a nonsense when you're on 66 grand and you're not coping. Come on.
Have you included Bitcoin in your investing?
I have.
Talk to by the taxman. I'm just saying because I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. You just say what bit?
I have. Yes, I'm a big fan of Bitcoin and gold.
So let me say this, right? Because I was saying this from before, right? There's certain people that have their personal finance in order that happen to be. Why is it ironic that these people are the ones? Am I going mad? Or is just this is just you know, it's just coincidence. Somehow these people are not complaining. Somehow they aren't complaining. Why? How? Why is it these type of people are the ones that are not complaining about cost of living? The ones that are complaining, I'm telling you, come on, fix your BFS.
My big things at the moment. Yeah. In fact, I did a webinar last week saying
Jasmine, she's like, Jasmine, you're a baller. Baller.
Bitcoin or gold, which is the best investment? Basically both. I mean,
Basically.
as I say, I think there are arguments for.
Because I wish, teach me about Bitcoin. I don't know what's going on. Taxman, I'm confused. So what's she talking about? But what?
For both. I actually had.
But hold on, isn't it supposed to be? It's going to zero. It's going to be it's like computer money, right? It's like computer trafficking money, right? That is just used on the dark web. What's going on there? Teach me. I'm lost.
Somebody you'd be interested in, Charlie Morris, who runs a fund called Bold, which is Bitcoin and gold.
Interesting.
Get that, Bitcoin, gold, Bold.
I like it. I mean, no.
It's about 2/3 gold, currently 2/3 gold, 1/3 Bitcoin, and it's returning about 14%. You know, it's so.
Well, over the last year, gold.
It's not beating inflation, though. I must say, like, if you just, this is from reports I've heard that if you're holding Bitcoin, the amount is, that's what I've heard, though, that it beats inflation, stuff like that. In fact, gold has been going crazy from beginning of this year. It's had a slight retracement, but guys, listen, your personal, forget about a lot of you. I'm talking stuff like it doesn't even matter. Investment shouldn't even be in your purview. Focus on your income, outgoings, and savings. Most of you can't spell savings because you don't have it.
Was really performed well.
Very well, absolutely, and it's likely to continue because of the central banks, just hoarding it.
Well, gold does well when governments know we're fucked, because they buy it.
Yes, exactly.
They buy it.
It's not a good place to be,
No.
Having high. And I had one guy, my friend John Butler, who's written books about gold. He's former fund manager, and he said he said this a few years ago to me, that gold should be about $20,000 per troy ounce. So it's about $3,000 at the moment. But he said you don't want to live in a world where that is the case, frankly.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of bits about Bitcoin then, if you're covering it, because this show was, for the first 860 episodes, was a Bitcoin show.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah,
great.
for 7-8 years, it was just Bitcoin. We flipped
years.
it. Sometimes we bring Bitcoin up and people are like, why do you keep talking about Bitcoin?
Because it's important.
Yeah, no, it is important. I think a lot of people misunderstand it. But do you only cover Bitcoin? You don't bother with all the shit coins and nonsense?
You see, and I was thinking about this actually, because I've got a friend, I'm sure you know Susie Ward.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, and she says that she's absolute Bitcoin maximalist, and I do understand that. However, I am one of those people shouted at, go, kind of like XRP.
No.
What are you talking about? Teach us. Teach us. Jasmine, teach us. This is it's another world right now. We need to let's go back to personal finance. Let's go back to the first. You've gone too far. You've gone too far on this part. So go back to personal finance. Sorry, the first 3 of personal finance. Let's go back to income. In fact, I'm gonna have to let people know, because you're now just. It sounds like you're just showing off with your stuff. Like,
no, those people are evil.
Yeah.
That's
what she says.
They fund anti-Bitcoin campaigns,
misinformation
campaigns.
Do they really?
Yeah, so they
well,
funded a Greenpeace campaign, but that was just.
It's funny how we're hearing the what is it? The opposite of that, right? Where certain people in Reddit were. This is just I'm a reporter, guys. Certain people in Reddit were essentially planning campaigns for other crypto assets. So it's funny you're saying this basically, but you see how both sides. I'm not gonna say he's wrong. I'm just saying that this is both sides of the people that are on either side be saying that I want to do the other thing. You're all the same. We're all the same. We're all peas in a pod, man. This is what I'm saying, that personal finance for me, and I'm realizing how when I look at the state of the economy, the state of the culture. Shout out to some people that be using that. Anyway, the state of the economy and culture, the state of education system. People don't know stuff. People are struggling. Some people you definitely start. People like Jasmine, I guarantee you, she believes that she's living a completely different reality to the people in this world right now that are struggling. Because is she ridiculously wealthy? Do I believe she's a millionaire? No. Do I believe she's well off? 100%. Why is she behaving as though that things aren't too? Because I was saying it, how there are some people that are probably in the middle, that somehow are not complaining. Why? Why are they not complaining? That's just one asset class, right? She's talking about, but she's not mentioned. I'm sure Jasmine has to be in some stocks and shares as well, right? She's not mentioned them, but I'm telling you, she probably is in it, and it makes sense as to why she just seen it. To her, and from her point of view, the woman has earned 66K a year. What's going on? How do you have that much? Where is the money going? Because the only way we won't have anything to really spend from 66. Obviously, you got bills and the bills, but you're able to save some of that. And with all due respect, how certain assets move, how gold has moved in the start of this year, if we minus the dip right now, which you should listen by it, how gold has moved, yo. If you're able to save 1,000 from that and put it into gold, what's that, 40%? Again, it's not amazingly crazy, but it lets you just come on, man. Like we're just using that specific amount, which is a small amount. But imagine if we increase the amount. And on top of that as well, anyway, she'll probably mention that. There's no point in me going any too
I think there's about 5 million I put into it. Connell will fact check.
Really?
Funding a
I might have to do a part 2 on this, guys, because I don't want it. This is I'm halfway, and my video is already one hour 30 something, and this one is already almost not even halfway yet.
Information campaign saying like Bitcoin is boiling the polar bears and
Oh, that
the oceans.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
some people obviously make good money on it. Make good money on crap. But
well, absolutely, you
but,
can. Yes.
It took me about a year and a half to become the maximalist like Susie, and now
Right.
my view is when you price every asset in Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the best asset you could own. I think the only thing that beat it was Nvidia shares over a certain period for obvious reasons.
Not anymore though. I would
say.
Not recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the reason I always say Bitcoin only is because on a long enough time frame, everything fails against Bitcoin because it is the best crypto asset.
Right.
It
yes.
has the most honest distribution.
Yes.
And the price charts just tell you that. But I'm a big supporter of Bitcoin. Every business I have accepts it, retains the Bitcoin, doesn't spend it.
But does your bank allow this? My bank, for my Money Magpie bank, I've got with various banks. But
and I'm gonna stop here because I think they're going into a whole new. I'm gonna just chat to wrap this up because they're about to go into. Let me just see what the chapters are. Let's see this. And when Bitcoin go, what do they do? Credit cards and sharp knives, stuff that I'll definitely want to go into. Financial education, pensions, or this is I need to watch this. I need to watch this. I might actually cut this in half and then start another because I don't want it to be too long. This is quite a long video, so we'll do a part 2 on this. But I definitely want to get into the rest of this because this is really intriguing. But guys, I'm gonna stop it here, and I'm gonna try to just recap on stuff we talked about, which is, well, it's all here anyway. You can see she talked about taxpayers being punished, which is what's going on right now. The people that are being punished, that are complaining. She's mentioned to you what she's mentioned to you in terms of your personal finance needs to be in order. Those that are struggling, the reason why you're struggling is because you've not probably looked into certain things. In 2020, what were you doing? Because that was a time for you we were all parked on our butts, and we had to basically do. Some of us was just Netflixing and chilling, right? So whose fault is that, right? So what did I say in my last one? It's your fault. Okay, cool. Entrepreneurs giving up because you're getting taxed left, right, and center. Corporate tax and they're just chasing you down. They want to lawlessness without consequences. Immigration, 1 in 5 cars, which is ridiculous. Britain's coming financial crash, which is not just Britain. It's going to be, to me, like a worldwide financial crash. Unfortunately, it's going to affect everybody because why? Everything needs to be reset. This is the great reset. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check WEF or I don't know, Google a guy called Klaus Schwab. What do you want to do, man? Council tax up, yep, ridiculous. All these things, right? Everything is, and they brought it to asset class, which is not just that in its own, but there's various asset classes when it comes to investing. So what she's kind of stepped into. What I always want to basically let people know is there are ways for you to spend a certain amount and then have the have the remaining, the change that's left, have it converted into a different asset. So you spend money, which if you don't know, guys, right, you're getting paid right now. And as you get paid, the money that you're getting, which is the Great British Pound, basically, right? That's the fiat currency you're getting right now. The Great British Pound is being paid into you. For those that are not into finance like that, I'll try to make it simple and say your money, its value is going this way. So the reason why you're looking at it as though, oh my gosh, why are things so expensive in a shop, is because the money that you have is going down. The actual value of the products in the shop is not changing, guys, really. Like, oh my gosh, grapes, the quality has become so much that they've had to raise the price. That's not, sorry, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening, right? Grapes aren't getting any more refined, you know, like fine wine, like fine wine. Hey, just slice of life. The world has gone mad. So it's not as though that's, you know, the grapes are improving in quality. It's the fact that grapes are staying like this and your money's going this way. So if your money that was, what, let's say the grape was £1, for example, just make it simple, £1. Your money was £1, right? 10, 15 years ago, but £1. Let's say the money, right, then gets debased. I can't be bothered to explain what the hell that is, because I'll explain in another video, basically, right? But currency gets debased, and then your money then loses some of its value. So now it goes, your money goes down, the price of that £1, right, compared, right, when it's compared against the grape, is now 90p. The grape hasn't moved in price, in quality, nothing. Grapes will just be grapes. It's just, that's what it is. Unless they start GMOing, well, they probably are anyway, like they GMOing everything else. Unless they start GMOing grapes to make them some super hench grapes. Your grapes don't change in value. They're just the same. It goes, your money goes down like that. It keeps going down. Now, what you'll find is the value of many fiat currencies have gone all the way down since, I forgot the time frame. I'm not an expert, guys, but they've lost so much value. I believe they've lost, is it 90%? I don't want to sound like McCormack Jr. by just throwing out numbers. Don't know. So let me just say that it's lost. Let me just use, we said, 20%, even though it's more. Let me just be careful. I don't like to be so, you know, because I'm wrong many times, but I try to, you know, be sure of myself. So it's lost anyway, right? So the fact that it's lost that amount, grapes that now are looking at, this is what, yeah, 20% I just said. Inflation's up. Inflation, everything is up like 20%, because that's what's happened to the fiat currency. It's been debased by 20%, right? And all of this stuff can there's many. Oh, why would a currency be debased? For various, you know, for I guess a various reasons. What happened in 2020 though? The main reason, and that happened, which essentially destroyed the value of, let's just talk about the dollar, was because they started printing like crazy. They were printing money, right? Something a process called QE, which is quantitative easing. I can't bother to explain this again. This is stuff that we can explain another time. But these type of that action that was carried out, right, by the US government, well, the Federal Reserve, whatever, right, where they started printing ridiculous amounts, started to the more dollars in circulation made, which the more dollars that were printed into circulation, right, and people using, and it was in society being used, basically meant that the value of the dollar started eroding. I was saying corroding and eroding, basically, right? Started eroding, right? It literally started going down, because the more something that's being pumped, like it's the simple economics. I'm not an expert in economics at all, guys. So I'm just saying this stuff because I hear certain people that always tell me, I like when you explain stuff. I explain stuff to me in a wonky, weird way. It's not great. But I'm realizing there's different types of people in this world, right? And there are people learning different ways. Some people like the way I deliver stuff to them because it's more digestible. Great. Maybe they just see my image and like, oh snap, okay. How do you know this stuff? And they're probably intrigued by the fact that, oh, you know this stuff, but where did you kind of understand it and so forth? Hence why it's that intrigue them being intrigued alone is what's allowing them to even take the information that I'm giving them, you know, and the I guess yeah, I don't want to say education because I'm not educating anybody. Well, I don't think anyway, but information and educate the knowledge, right, that I'm giving them there, that's why they're able to like internalize it and really understand it, because they want to hear it from somebody that they see as, oh, this person's like me. If this person can do it, I can do it. Fair enough. So the dollar is, I think that's why I just left off basically, right, is eroding as a result, because they've essentially done quantitative easing and the dollar's lost value. Everything else stays. In fact, some of them will increase, but usually stuff is just staying. Some things may increase in value. Something like gold is more likely to increase, but really, when you look at it, a lot of stuff is just stabilizing. The cost of stuff is just stabilizing, really, just staying where they are. They're not really going up or down. They're just stabilizing. The only thing that's really getting eroded is the value of the fiat currency, in this instance the dollar, because that's where I left off. It's about economics, right? It's supply and demand. It's that simple. Supply and demand, economics 101. If something is in, major supply, something is in major supply, meaning there's a lot of it, right? And it's easy to acquire, and there's just stuff left over, that they're able to distribute this product so much that it's just left over, just lying around. What do you think is going to happen to the price of that product that's just lying around now, that people can actually just go and pick it up? Oh, but this person is selling it over there, but then people are finding it on the street. What do you think is going to happen to the price of the product that's now being sold by that person? It's going to go pretty much to zero, because the supply is too much. Supply is too much. Whereas when demand exceeds supply, where people have picked up so much of it right now, there's nothing on the floor. The only ones that's left is in that shop, and that guy is selling. There's nothing on the floor now. What do you think is going to happen to the price of that? He's going to be able to take it from, if it was zero, or forever it is, the base of it, and just go higher, because the demand of it is so much, but there's not enough supply. This is what happens when you take so much of the fiat, right, the dollar, and you throw into the market, and essentially it debases the currency. It makes the currency worse. It devalues the currency. It makes it go down, right, like in value. So the stuff that you're now trying to buy, people now are saying, okay, cool. There needs to be, I want more dollar for this thing I'm selling, because now I'm holding dollars, you're holding dollars, everybody's holding dollars basically, but there's so much more being printed. There's so much more in circulation. It's basically been debased. Give me more of your dollar. Give me more of what you have to pay for this product. So it's not as though this product is going up in value. It's not that. It's just the dollar, the fiat currency. It's just basically the value of it is eroding. That's essentially kind of what quantitative. Well, that's what that is. That's what happens when as soon as they do some quantitative easing. That's basically what's happening right there. They're just pumping the markets with more money. Please, guys, go and listen to Jasmine Birtles, who's going to explain this way better than myself. If you understood that, great. I believe it was fluffy, but once you just essentially get this, right? Once you understand it, like to the base level, you're gonna start realizing to yourself that, yeah, to be fair, in order for me to now get further into this area, right, personal finance in general, I really need to make sure that my income, my outgoings, my expenditure, and my savings, I need to take care of this stuff. I need to make sure they're on point, because how do I move forward? How am I able to protect myself when things like this happen? When external stuff starts happening and it starts to affect the everyday lives of everyday people. How do I protect myself? The only way to do that basically is to make sure that you got your budgets in place. So then when you now need to, okay, let me now find out ways to protect myself, make my money work for me, right? Which is investing, and then at the end of it, protecting my wealth and so forth. This is where it all starts, man. But I'm gonna cut this short. It's been a very long video, but I'm happy I watched this. I'm gonna have to go to do a part 2. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to really plan this, like, you know, put together this in writing for myself. So when I now explain this stuff in future, it'll just be like rolling off my tongue, easy. Because right now I was a bit of a, you know, that's a bit of a. But if you watch these videos yourselves about what is money, just type in what is money into YouTube, you're gonna find this stuff. You're gonna find this information yourself. You become, and you slowly be able to, you know, hopefully start giving your own takes on personal finance. This is personal finance. This is your personal finance. Jasmine will talk about her, you know, and then try to give, she probably will be giving you advice on things basically about your personal finance, but your personal finance is your personal finance. So it's something that once you master your personal finance, guys, you're good to go to, you know, because there's going to be many people that are like-minded like you, that think like you, that behave like you, that, you know, handle their money like you, that probably need to learn from you. You just need to know that you just need to be able to explain it in a way where it is digestible for them, and, you know, it's easy learning. So let's stop it there. I don't know if I should do another one today or maybe do it tomorrow. I need to just go and have a little chill. But all right, let me just cut this off, guys. Thank you very much, and we shall reconvene in the next video. I'm crazy all this time. I've not been looking at mine. I've just been looking at I've been staring at Jasmine all day. We shall meet again soon, Jasmine. And to you guys, take care. Peace. Did I stop it? No, I haven't. Just watch me as I just try to stop this. My bad, guys. Shall I do that again? Producer in the studio, cut. Have you cut? I said, they need to bring AI now. I need to fire this person. I need to fire this person I'm looking at right now. You need to get fired. Yeah, you. I'm firing you. AI, start, please. When I say cut, just cut it. End the recording. Hey. All right, yeah. Signing out. What on earth is going on here? You're still